There's all these bots out there. I don't care. I don't care. I'm never going to stop fighting. Never going to stop fighting for you. You and your right to freely speak. See that flag behind me? Yep. I don't mind fighting. I don't. Speaking of fighting, our next guest has been in many bar fights.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I just said which one.
I love it. But she's tough. She's out there. She's hunting. She's fishing. She's also cooking. She is Chef Andi. What's up, Chef Andi? How are you?
Hey, thank you.
You're in town for how long for?
Till Monday.
Till Monday. She's out of Texas, okay? And let me tell you, she knows how to cook wild game. I know you guys all think you know how to do it. Mm-mm. She knows how to put you to shame with it.
That's true.
What brings you to Tennessee? What do you got going on?
There's a birthday going on for one of my friends named Amy. She's turning 45. And then I'm going to see my aunt, Deborah.
Aunt Deborah.
I know. And then my cousins, Josh. So. Yeah.
Well, you got and cooking-wise, were you always good cook, good chef? When did you become Chef Andi?
About 10 years ago.
10 years ago, you're like, listen, I gotta do the culinary. I gotta get trained. I gotta do this.
It wasn't exactly like that, but yeah, kind of.
But and this is like.
It was more like I was an architect for 10 years. So then before that, and then was building homes and commercial buildings, and then kind of did some things and moved it around, and then culinary. I thought, well, hell, how could it not help you in your life to know how to cook?
Right.
And then it kind of just went from there, and then it's blown up ever since.
Boom.
And then now I found my little niche because I thought, let's put them together. And I've always cooked what I've killed, so no matter what, I don't ever waste anything.
And you've always been a hunter, huh?
Always, since 4 years old.
Always. What was your first kill?
Buck. A small little spike.
A buck.
Yep.
A small spot buck. And
Spike.
a spike. And did you kill them with an arrow or a bullet?
No, a bullet.
Okay, there you go.
Is bullet killing.
Yeah, bullet killing. Jerks. Okay. So now cooking wild game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could provide some insight and advice. All right, such as, let's try this one. All right, deer seems to be the most popular.
It is.
Okay, so what's the best way to cook it?
Well, it depends on how it's done. I mean, whether you grind it, whether you put it in. I mean, because obviously everybody loves deer chili. And then you've got, the backstrap. That's always good. Then you can
what's
grill
backstrap?
those backstraps on
That's the filet mignon, right?
Correct.
Of the cow.
Of the deer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of any animal.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I don't know
of the
that we
best.
call it filet mignon when it comes from something other than a cow. Do
I don't
we?
think-
I've always heard it called
kinda like it,
backstrap.
though.
I don't know what we call it on pig. I assume pigs have them.
I got my baby back, baby back, baby back.
But,
Got my
have to
baby
look
back,
that up.
baby back. Okay. Now, the deer itself, how long is that process? Okay, say you shoot a deer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, boom. Now, you take it back, you skin it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, you got to take the meat off of the bones and stuff, or do you gut?
Do you do that yourself, or do you have someone else?
It depends, but I have done it.
There are services that do that for you, right?
Correct. They're all over the place. Yes, but that's probably the most popular, so you don't have to do it yourself.
Uh-huh.
But
is it pricey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm, because you're getting it. You can get it. You kill that deer. You can send it back. They send it back to you in. It can be in hamburger. It can be in the backs are all cut up for you, ready to go. It can have. Sausages, different anything you want with the venison, and they have it all ready and spices done, and they bring it to you in a big old box, and you're good to go. So it's kind of a cool deal, and then you just go home and freeze it or do whatever with it.
What's
So
the best
whole
way to
thing's
cook deer?
That's what I would say. Grill it.
Grill it.
Yeah, anything on the griller. Anything
Yeah.
that you're gonna grill.
I had deer jerky before, right?
Mm-hmm, I
Not
love
bad.
deer
Yeah,
jerky.
I've made
venison
that.
jerky.
That came out really well. I made that once. I'm told that as far as just eating a piece of deer meat, that the backstrap is really the only piece that's good enough to eat. Is that?
No, then they're cooking it wrong.
Okay.
I promise
What
you
else?
that, yeah.
What else on a deer would you cook? Not ground up, put it into a chili or a sausage or something. What other parts are worth eating by themselves?
Any of the meat is good. Whenever you're doing it, you can do any of the hind. You can do all sorts of stuff, and then it's the way that you marinate it is the problem. And people think it's pretty gamey, or
Okay.
it's tastes like venison, like it's got a lot of sour in it. You can, marinate it in Italian dressing. You can do it in buttermilk. You can do it depending on if you're going to fry it, make little nuggets out of it. If you're going to do, but I don't really fry a lot of food. I know.
What
that's
is
known in
exactly
Texas
venison?
that is deer. Same thing. It's just the meat of the deer. It's called
Then why do we call it venison?
Fancy name.
Yeah, fancy.
Because
I don't know.
I'll tell you all about exactly why if you want to hear it.
Why is that, Lawyer Wayne?
All right, so back in the day, back in jolly old England, the fancy people spoke French, right? But all the regular peasants spoke English. So in English, we would call it a cow. But by the time it made it to the dinner plate of the fancy nobleman, they'd be talking about beef because it's French. Same way where pig becomes pork, and deer becomes venison.
Venison. Got it.
It's a different name by the time it turns into meat.
But chicken is chicken.
Yep.
Chicken is chicken.
And
Besides,
turkey is
They
turkey.
didn't eat
Turkey's turkey.
chickens back then. Not in the way we do.
Right.
It was not popular.
Quail is quail. Dove is dove.
duck.
And deer is venison.
And right. It's not fair.
But any of those wild game, I mean, some of those have, and then the dark meat and the light meat, meaning like a lot of people don't like rabbit or duck because they're more of a dark meat and they are oily.
Yes. I've had that, and I've had that complaint. How do you fix that?
The way you marinate it, and then the seasonings on it.
It's all about marination. Okay. Boom. You got a duck. You're gonna cook it up. The feathers, they're all out.
Just like that.
All right. And all the gizzards and whatever you use for catching catfish or whatever you people do down here.
That's right.
You can eat gizzards. I eat gizzards.
Good.
Livers and gizzards.
Okay.
Throw away good gizzards.
Okay.
from catfish. Apparently.
Giving away your
I
gizzards.
can't do it. I've tried it. Okay, but now how do you cook the duck? You got the duck meat. Okay, how long do you marinate it for?
You can see it bleeding. You can see it go out. You'll know. I mean, you might even have to change it sometimes to get it all out. I mean, it can go overnight. It can go. I mean, you'll know by the way the milk looks or the Italian dressing. I mean, if it's bleeding out, then
So that's what you're marinating it with? Milk?
you can do buttermilk. You can do that's if you're going to fry it.
This
really.
is all news to me. Buttermilk.
And then actually, even if you grill it, you can take it out and let it. But it
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got something in there to make it all.
It's
I mean, not as gamey, and it tastes really good.
So
It
yeah,
just
I
rolls
want to
out.
try your duck then. Now, what about rabbit though? Rabbit.
Rabbit's really good too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't had
I've
it
even
right
done
then.
a rabbit on a spigot, like you have a little and you turn it.
I don't know if you can say that word anymore.
That's not a good word. That's a thing.
Don't listen.
I'm like,
Yeah, all the venison burger I've ever had, we always had to add a lot of fat to it, though. You
people
know,
add pork or people
yeah,
add something.
a lot of
because
pork
it's
Yeah.
very
to it
lean.
when you
See,
grind
you
it
would
up.
like
Yeah.
it.
I
It's
like
yeah,
really
it's
lean.
very lean. It's like you, Joe. It's lean meat.
Lean is good.
It is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And
That's what
then-
makes good jerky.
Right.
Okay.
Not a lot of fat in that jerky.
Now, okay.
So it's really healthy. Anything. I mean, you actually look at the animal, and that's how you. I mean, if you look at a cow, you can see the fatty part. You look at it. I mean, you look at a deer. Look how lean and strong it is, and that's what. I mean, there's no fat on it. So why would there be?
What about the little birds? Like dove season's coming
Yes,
up, right?
it's coming up in Texas here September 1st.
How can that be any good?
It's amazing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
most the
You get the little
Yeah, but how much meat's on it?
About a nugget's worth, I'd assume.
Yeah.
well, but you cook it different. Everybody just a Texas thing is going to be the bacon wrapped jalapeno with cream cheese,
Oh,
and you
my
put the
God.
little and you wrap it up.
Oh, that's
Bacon wrapped jalapeno cream cheese dove.
wow.
Oh, that's where it's at.
That
Everybody
sounds all
eats
right.
it. But then
Dove. Right. You're gonna be eating Dove at that point.
You can throw some dove in there if you want.
French for dove. Let's see. Wild hog. What's the difference between eating a wild hog and like a pig?
they taste completely different.
Really?
And then it matters.
But they
on-
both snort, right?
They're both. They're just ugly, and the one stinks nasty funk, and then the other one.
Oh, those are the ones that leave the electric cowboy at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yes.
Yes. Those are the hogs. Yes. But no, and then on those, when you're even killing them, I mean, you want them off your land. They're a hazard. You can kill them
Yeah.
any time of year, anytime you want.
I see
Just
these
get
videos.
rid of them
They
suckers.
they are like they're killers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and then they just tear up your land, and
Like
I mean,
land
you're-
between the lakes, they got a big problem up there with these pigs.
Pests.
and
Yeah.
you're maybe. I mean, if you have deer, you probably have a deer feeder. You're feeding it, or you're hunting. Okay, well, they're coming and eating all your stuff. Nobody
Yeah.
wants any of that.
So how do you kill them? Booby traps?
You can trap them
I want booby traps.
or shoot them
Where
when
they-
they're done.
Where you put the feeder on and then it just collapses into a hole with spikes, and you're here.
You want to
Yeah.
do spike trap hunting?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Is that how Rambo John Jay did it when he killed that?
Love it.
I don't think that's legal.
You have
I think that might count as animal cruelty.
Right. You can't do spikes.
I've read that law recently. I don't know that hunting deer with spike traps is legal. Don't do that without consulting an attorney first, people.
Private property. You have rights.
And on that pig, you do not eat it after about 120, 125 pounds.
Oh, a
And that's
wild pig.
A wild hog, yeah. You don't, because it gets tough and nasty and stinky.
Like a lobster. You don't eat it when it's too big. It's just no good. Right.
I think you lost us on lobster, Joe.
Oh, I love lobster.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's at New York.
absolutely.
We don't have lobsters.
2.5 pounds. You're good.
Yep.
All right. So now I learned about pigs and wild hogs. It's more than just a crappy movie from the mid 2000s. Remember that movie, Ben?
I thought it
Yeah.
was really good.
Nah, it was funny. It was funny. Turtle?
Turtle.
No.
So good. Turtle
I-
soup. Oh my gosh, it
I
is.
don't
Yes.
like turtle.
No, okay.
I don't like turtle.
Chef Andy, how do you cook a turtle that would make me think, okay, I'll eat that?
In a soup.
Okay, in a soup, but I don't know.
You gotta try it. That's what everybody said. I'm gonna have to. You gotta eat it, and then you'll know. You'll say, "What is
Doesn't
this?
the
It's so
shell
amazing."
get stuck in the
There's no
teeth?
shell, honey. You gotta boil the shell out.
Yeah.
You stick him in the, and you gotta get him boiled in there, and you
It's like a
rip off
lobster.
all the.
You don't put the shell in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you rip off all the shell and get him.
You'd
good.
probably be a good shell cracker
I would.
at a turtle factory.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The only turtles you've ever had are
You
those
just pick 'em
chocolate
up.
ones with caramel.
You're
right?
damn right. You're damn right. I used to. I don't know if I could eat turtle. I don't know.
Good.
I bet it is good. I'll never say not once. I'll try. You know what I mean? I'll always try something. Squirrel? Really?
Yeah.
Taco
It's really
meat.
good.
Yeah.
Taco meat.
Taco meat.
It's good. Squirrel. Good.
Now, what about squirrel brains? What is that about?
Come on. Come on.
I'm telling you, I've heard this.
It is. I have heard that.
my,
I personally have not eaten the brains.
my
And
gra-
I've eaten a lot of weird
My
stuff out of the
grandfather,
animals.
my
But
Yeah.
grandfather used to eat
Squirrel brains?
Brains.
Brains.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would know how. I mean, I guess I could find somebody that knows
My
how to cook 'em that
grandfather
well,
loved
but-
it. Squirrel brains.
Squirrel
and eggs.
brains.
Brains,
Deborah,
okay.
right? And
Yeah.
eggs?
Mix
Squirrel
them
brains.
together.
Squirrel brains and eggs.
Is it like potted meat? No, I'm just kidding.
But squirrel brains, and I've
I
also
just-
heard of pig brains.
Oh, like
I haven't tried that either.
Like my grandfather said.
Not against it, but
Like my grandfather said, from Tudor to the rooter.
From tutor to the rooter. Okay, all right. Now, what about fish and everything?
I've been fishing a lot lately.
Now, is fish different? You know what I mean? Say you get like a channel catfish, which, by the way, is one of the state's fish of Tennessee.
Is it different than?
Is it different than, say, you caught a smallmouth bass, which is the other
Yes.
state fish of Tennessee?
It is different.
Look
Yeah.
at you.
Trivia
I
Chemos
like it.
Wednesdays.
Look at you.
How many fish have you ever cleaned, Joe?
Cleans? Well, the Sunny that I caught, it went on the dirt, so I had to wash it off again. So yeah, I made it all
Cleaned it
nice. I
off.
cleaned
Yeah,
it
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Well, when he was on that keto diet, he scraped the tartar sauce off his fillet of fish.
Yeah, they're
One
too much
time.
tartar. Too much. No, but I hear you. I've did it once when I was young when I caught a trout. That was it. I'm just not.
Trout fishing's fun.
Yeah, I'm just not a fish cleaner guy.
A catfish, you have to work.
I mean, other than bread it and fry it, how else you want to eat a fish?
No. I
that's
don't
what
want
you
to eat
do it.
fried.
you got to
Nah, you
debone it and everything, right?
Bread and
On-
deep fry.
no,
That's what you do.
You fillet it.
Yeah.
Not debone it, however you want to put it, but it's not deboned. You fillet it.
Right,
But
right.
yes, very close.
They had to bone it, you know. Usually when I debone it, I drink too much wine. So, sorry, Lawyer Wayne. I know it's a family show. But speaking of which, beaver, really?
Beaver, yes.
No,
Yes, beaver.
it's
I
so
never even
rare
occurred
to
to me.
eat beaver that tastes good.
I.
You know, I actually saw a dead beaver over by
You got me
Lowe's
on
on Madison.
Uh-huh.
It was a lot bigger than I expected. I didn't realize those beavers were that
Oh
big.
yeah, man, you need to come to my neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah, they just be hanging.
You got
out.
some big beavers over
Ben's
there.
got all the big beavers over there.
Joe, you seen them?
Oh, no comment. All right, how do you cook beaver? I mean, is it like rabbit?
No, it's more like elk. More like an elk texture. It's
Really?
kind of sweeter. Mm-hmm.
It's sweeter. So beaver does taste good.
It does really good, and you
The
would
myth
eat,
is true.
like the backstrap of that is definitely what you want to eat on
Can
the
you-
beaver, and then you can actually eat their legs. And their legs, you skin their
What
legs.
about their
and you
tail?
split 'em apart.
Can you eat their tails?
Yeah, there's something with that, and then but people are. I mean, if you look up beaver tail, they do something in the bacon thing.
Because I've had alligator tail.
I love alligator.
Right.
That's my next hunt. Is an
Yeah,
alligator hunt.
you're gonna go hunting alligator.
Yes, I am.
Can you wear a GoPro when you do it?
Yes.
That'd be a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta start. You gotta start capturing your hunting ventures on camera and then upload them to your social media.
I'm ready.
Telling
That's
you,
a good idea.
Chef Andy, you got the
doing it.
link in this video for if you want to comment on her. All right, just
it.
click the link, send her a message, say, "Hey, I got questions." Chef Andy will get you answers about cooking wild game. And any questions for her before we move forward?
We want to see her catch it, clean it, cook it, and eat it. We want to see the whole
That's-
An
thing.
alligator.
That's what I'm
I'm just
looking-
imagining her
Tell you,
out there in,
you're right.
in
Right.
chest waders with a long spear hunting alligators.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, when you see
assume-
like people
What, do
going
you use a
fishing
gun?
using
You
their
shoot
arm.
them in the water?
You catch them.
No.
Yeah, you just catch them, grab their mouth.
Or do you have a giant hook like you're going fishing with a big piece of meat on the end?
Yeah.
You snag them and
That's right. Old school style.
I actually.
I use a fishing rod when I alligator hunt. Right.
That'll work. Kind of
nope.
not.
Hey,
I guess
Joe,
you can see where it's going.
No, I feed them all the time. It's great.
while we're talking about wild games,
Uh-huh.
you're an expert on this subject. So I want to ask you something. What is the plural of cow? Like, I see a couple
I see a couple of the cows.
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 And
Yeah, I guess cattle's a.
Yeah, cattle.
and there's
All the herd.
there's two dogs,
The dogs. Right.
right?
a pack.
So why do we have this singularity when it comes to deer? Nobody says, "Hey, look at those deers."
It's the same with beer. I think the same thing. I say that all the time.
Can I get
You
a
don't
couple
go,
beers?
Because what I would
Right,
like
can
to
I get
do,
a
I'm going to
couple
organize a march on Washington.
Uh-huh.
My next cause, since my candidate's out of the race now,
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Right.
My next cause is I'm going to lead a march on Washington for plurality for deer. I think they should be called deers.
Well, see,
Or we change the rules and we say, hey, kids, look at all them cow. Or
Yeah.
hey, kids, look at all those dog.
You know, it does get confusing.
It
after a
does.
while.
It does.
It's not confusing at all. It's for all those kind of the hoofed kosher mammals. You got deer, elk, moose, caribou.
You don't say see those elks?
No.
Caribou.
I'd say caribous. Yeah.
Caribou.
Hey, yo,
elk,
caribous.
moose,
Right.
deer.
I caught a bunch
for-
of fish.
Same word.
Fishes.
It should be called a fishes.
Yeah, I got. Oh, did you
It's
see
loaves and fishes.
So
It's
why
not
is-
loaves and fish.
goose,
Right.
geese. Why wouldn't moose be meese?
Meese,
But
right.
it's not.
That's right.
It's not.
Look at all them geese.
See.
Yeah.
So Joe, would you help me with that? Because I'm going to lead a march on Washington. I'm going to
I
fix
got a
this.
contact.
I want consistency.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I'll help you with that, if you help me with mine. What's the plural of breakfast?
I had breakfasts.
Breakfasts? Is it breakfasts?
I was about to try.
It's got to be breakfasts.
Breakfasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bay?
Yeah.
I just thought it was breakfast.
Breakfasts. Okay.
Breakfast.
You slide the S.
Just an
in.
extra S. I think you need an ES. in there.
Breakfasts.
There's no
I think it's
K.
breakfasts.
Me, it's just I just order more than one breakfast. Deborah, is it breakfast?
No.
Okay, all right, just breakfast. All right. Woof. Speaking about going to Washington, coming up next, Dennis Potvin's hanging out with us. All right, this is a guy. It's not far left, but he's got a D next to his name. Big Tulsi Gabbard supporter, pushed hard for her here. She didn't make it. I was even thinking maybe she would be the vice president nomination for Joe Biden. Well, didn't happen. Here's Kamala Harris. Well, that's how she speaks when she's in front of this other crowd. It's a very pandering person. But I want to know what his thoughts are on that pick, and plus also the online DNC, Democratic National Convention, and what's going on with those terrible Zoom meetings. Have you seen these? All right, well, we'll talk about it when we get back, okay? That's all coming up next on the Joe Padula Show. Absolutely.